Hi, everyone. So I'm about to work on an art project and I wanted to use my water soluble crayons and I was trying to decide which one to use. And so I'm going to test them out and I thought I would just make a video about it because I thought maybe it would be of interest to some other people who, like me, enjoy using the water soluble crayons on their artwork and their coloring pages. So I'm going to be comparing two discount products and two more expensive products. So on the discount side, I have my Creative Inspiration water soluble gel crayons. Comes in 26 colors and in a great package here. They snap right in so they don't fall out. So this is going to be one set I'm going to compare. I'm also going to compare it to my Arteco acrylic markers. Now, these aren't necessarily meant for water soluble work, but I do add water to these sometimes and making more of a water soluble look to them. So I'm going to be testing these out as well. And on a more expensive side, the Faber-Castell Gelatos, which many people just use the stick, use them dry, but I like to mix them with water. They're also can be used like a water soluble crayon. And last but not least, I have the Carandash Neocolor2 water soluble crayon. I'm going to be comparing all four of them, and I'm going to be using Canson watercolor paper to compare them on and see which one I like best. You like best, you may want to use. Alright, so I've got my Arteza butter brush, and I'm going to be using that. And I'm going to start with the Creative Inspiration crayons. And I've got a red and purple. And I'm just going to put some on the paper here, so a light layer. That's one. So here's Viv Inspirations. And then next I'm going to put the Gelatos. Mind my terrible handwriting, I'm writing on the side here. Hopefully you can see that. So here's the Gelatos. Red, purple color. Then I'm going to put the Carandash Neocolor. These two. And there's the Carmine Red and the Violet. And then last, I'm going to use the acrylic markers, but I'm going to hold off on those because I like to add water right after I apply it. With these, you can just put the color on and you can wait a little while before you add water, but with the acrylic, I think you have to add the water right away. So I'm going to hold off on the acrylic pens until after I dissolve these with my water brush. Alright, so take a look here. Put some water here. I'm going to start with the Creative Inspirations. It dissolves beautifully. It's very thick, colorful, pigmented. Okay, I'm going to wash that up and go to the red. Nice. Okay, so that is the creative inspirations. Now I'm going to move on, washing off my brush, and I'm moving on to Gelatos. Water there. It may not be the exact same purple, so I wouldn't judge by the color, but by like how pigmented it looks. I add a lot of water to this one, so it's gonna look a little thinner here. It's still a nice purple color. Next, I do the red. I didn't add so much water this time, so it's a little thicker. And the red will dissolve very nicely. Okay, cleaning off my brush. Now I'm going to go to the Neocolor, starting with the violet. Alright, cleaning off my brush. Now I'm going to the red. Carmine red. Alright, and the last test I'm going to do is with the acrylic markers. Some red here. Quickly add some water to it. Spread that out a little bit. Can add water to acrylic. Not as dark or red as the other ones. Those came out well. Now here's the purple. This is a nice dark purple. Some water there. Get in there right away, you can dissolve it and spread it around quite far. You get a sort of watercolory effect with it. So as you can see, the only one that completely dissolved was the Neocolor. The Neocolor, the lines are completely gone. The creative inspiration, the first one, you can see the purple did not completely dissolve. The red did a bit better, but you can still see the lines in the red as well. That's the lighting. Maybe this lighting will look... Oh, that helps. No, not really. But the Neocolor completely, both colors completely dissolved. Now the acrylic, the red one seemed to dissolve really well, but the purple one, of course, stayed on there. I probably didn't add enough color for the Neocolor. I could have added some more layers of the purple or just a lighter purple. But it dissolves really well. Just completely, the lines completely disappear and it turns into like a paint on the page there, and you can reactivate it later if you have a line and it completely dissolves. You can see the Neocolor. So Neocolor is the best if you're going to color on directly on the paper and then want to dissolve it afterwards. The Gelatos did an okay job, but not really not as well as Neocolor. The Gelatos still stayed in place as well, which might be a good thing if you want the color to stay there and you just want to dissolve it a little bit. And the same again with creative inspiration, it stayed there. So as far as coloring directly on the page, I would only use the Neocolor for that. And now to use the creative inspirations or the Gelatos, in order to avoid those lines, I would use some kind of palette like this one, or some kind of plastic or another piece of paper. And I would put the color, I'm going to do that now for the next test. I'm going to put it on the palette first, dissolve it, and then put it on the paper. Then I think they'll all have the equal results, I would think. So I'm going to start again with the creative inspiration, red and purple. Now we've got very watercolor consistency with no lines at all. Purple. Beautiful colors. They went really well. And the same with the gelatos. I'm going to do that same process here. You could also take it right from the tip of the marker or the crayon or gelato and paint that way as well if you want. For larger areas though, you want some kind of mix it together first, nice good puddle size, and have enough to cover the area. And so now I dissolve it first on a palette. Now they all have pretty equal performances. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Pretty much. I'm using the Carandash, the Neocolor. Neocolors are really pigmented, beautiful. I think that you can see the Neocolor pigment is a bit more pigmented than the creative inspiration. And so you're getting a much thicker, as it dries especially, the creative inspiration gets much lighter. Now you can remedy that by adding more color on the creative inspiration, but you have to put more layers of that to equal the same one layer color. Now I'm going to try the acrylic markers. I'm going to try mixing them on the palette first. I don't think I've ever done this before. Trying to right away get in there. Yeah. Alright, get a very watery. This acrylic markers can give you a very watercolor look effect. And you add a lot of water to them. And purple. Purple is much more pigmented in this particular pen that I took. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Yeah, if you just have some kind of plastic surface and you can just use them that way. So the acrylics can end up looking very much used in like a watercolor. So like markers there. Yeah, so there it is. There are the different choices and how they look. If you dissolve them first, they're pretty, equal the results, I would say. I mean, of course, I go Neocolor number 1, and the gelatos are very pigmented, so I choose that as number 2. But Creative Inspirations is a strong contender here, as well as the acrylic. The acrylic I'd just be worried about because they dry so quickly, and I don't believe they would reactivate. So by reactivate, I mean if I go back now that after they dry, and I try lifting it up, like I'll do it here, these are pretty dry now. And if I try to move that color around after it's been dried, you see I'm lifting up a little color, but it's not moving anything, it's not reactivating. Whereas if I go to the Neocolor, and I add some water and move it around, it'll start moving around. See, the color starts moving around again. It actually reactivates, and you see I'm getting rid of that line on the side. It's dissolving away. I mean, not entirely, but almost. If I continue working at it, I add a little more color. So the Neocolor, I can reactivate this. It's dry, and I'm adding more water, reactivating it, and I'm moving all over. And so it's very easy to fix mistakes that way and move things around and get rid of any lines you don't like if you want a softer effect. The gelatos, let me see if I can reactivate the gelatos. They'll reactivate. Yeah, I think the gelatos a little bit reactivate, not as well as the Neocolor. I'm adding a lot of water on this. It's not reactivating as well as the Neocolor. There's still a line there. It's a little bit of color coming off. And the creative inspiration, if I go in there again with some water. Okay, the Neocolor reactivates as well. I am lifting and moving the color around, but you see that dark line? I'm not budging that line that's underneath it. It's really stuck there. But it is reactivating to a certain extent. To a certain amount, but not as well as the Neocolor. I'm not able to budge that line underneath the lines. As I really scrub at it, and even then it's still, I'm sort of scrubbing into the paper too much there to lift it. So it does reactivate to a certain extent, but not as well as the Neocolor. And yeah. So there you have it. I would use the Neocolor to color directly first because it will dissolve the lines. But if you dissolve them first, all of them are pretty equal in the end result. So there you have it. Hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.